Your agent, the most important relationship you have in your acting career. Most agents are great, honest people, but some are like Pantalone, the 16th century commedia dell'arte character that literally steals money from everyone and has no care for anyone but himself. Whether they're holding on to money for over a year, charging exorbitant fees, or even charging fees simply for signing up, you have to watch out. So how do you avoid these common traps, and how do you find a legit acting agent? Well, let's take a look. This is my guide to nabbing an awesome and legitimate acting agent.
Can anyone tell me why I chose to be the biggest agent in the world? It's so I can stop being a fucking agent. So don't tell me to show the love. That's what I pay you people for.
Number one, ask other actors. The best way to avoid the Pantalone trap is to ask other actors who you trust for the inside scoop. Ask around and get a lay of the land. Who's signed with who, and how do they find their experience with that particular agent? Keep in mind, different actors with the same agency can have very differing opinions. The main thing to look out for are the major warning signs I mentioned before, like not being paid on time, charging exorbitant fees, and any sort of dodgy contracts. Whilst it may be tempting to ask that actor how many auditions they get in a year, you need to keep in mind that often it's more about the actor and less about that particular agent. Some actors might be with the best agent in the country but only get 10 auditions in a year, whereas other actors with that same agent might be getting one every few days. It often comes down to how the industry and how casting directors perceive that actor and like to work with them. That said, you will get a good idea of the standard of work you might be in the running for with a particular agent by chatting with those other actors. If you're asking around about a particular agent and not many people have heard of them or no one has anything good to say about them, it might be worth avoiding them like the plague. Quick tip, when you are asking around, remember it's not about the quantity of auditions, but the quality. There are a number of agents that can get you lots and lots of auditions, but if it's only really for commercial parts or very small TV roles, then you might be better off holding out and trying to get with a bigger, more established agent.
Because I've been to a million auditions, and the same thing happens every time, where I get interrupted because someone wants to get a sandwich, or I'm crying and they start laughing, or there's people sitting in the waiting room and they're like me but prettier and better because maybe I'm not good enough.
Yes, you are.
Tip number two, before you sign with an agent, always reach out to someone on that agent's books. You should always be able to find a friend or a friend of a friend and just give them a quick call and catch up with them. I've had countless people ring me and ask me about my agent, and I'm always happy to chat about my experience, so I definitely recommend doing that. Now, you might need to step outside of your friendship circles and turn to the internet. Look at which actors are working and see who they're repped by. Look at careers you want to emulate and start there. Obviously, trying to get with Ryan Gosling's agent isn't going to be all that easy, so to start with, look at mid-level actors who are on their way to bigger careers. Also, keep an eye out for your type. If an agency has a lot of actors who are very similar to you or in the same type bracket, that agency is probably unlikely to sign you. It doesn't mean don't contact them, but it's always good to scope out who they've got in a similar bracket. Let's begin with a simple Google search. Braving the Google search can be risky, but you can usually get a good impression of what an agent is like from their website and social media pages. Take a look at their clients, read a little about the team, and get a sense of their ethos. If an agent has a website that is outdated or broken or just doesn't have any helpful info on it, I'd probably be a little bit wary. If an agency has grand statements on their webpage such as, "We are the people that placed more people in film and TV than any other agent," or "the leading supplier of talent for the film and TV industry," I would always take these statements with a grain of salt. Generally, the better agents are much more understated. Another fantastic tool is IMDb Pro. This is an incredibly useful way to learn more about agents. Sign up for an IMDb Pro account. You can search for the top-rated talent agencies by country or by city, and on their profile you can get a sense of who's in their staff, who they look after, what their address is, contact details, lots and lots of information that's very, very helpful. It's an incredibly useful tool, and I find myself using it almost daily. A quick tip, in my experience, the most honest and decent agents are the bigger agents. Generally, they are making decent money and working with great actors, so they don't have to hustle as much. They usually pay the correct rates and pay on time. Often it's the smaller agents that take advantage of actors a little bit. This is just a very general observation. There are some fantastic smaller agents, but generally speaking, the more established agents are always a safer bet. Alrighty, so now you've conducted a thorough background search. Let's move on to a few things to avoid when looking for a legitimate agent. One clear sign of an illegitimate agent is an agent that charges actors yearly or monthly fees on top of commission rates. For example, there are some agencies out there who are charging actors $100 to $300 a year to sign with them. They're claiming this fee covers administrative costs, casting networks or showcasts or actors access membership fees, and they might also throw in a headshot session or a showreel session as well. All of these things you can do yourself and usually for much cheaper. So we always recommend having ownership over your online profiles, headshots, and showreels. Whilst it might be tempting for a newcomer to pay the fee and let your new agent handle it all, I can tell you now, you are much better off finding your own way. You should be researching reputable headshot photographers and showreel production companies yourself and finding one that suits you and your budget. There may be a few exceptions to this rule, but I would always avoid agencies who charge a sign-up fee to actors. Agents shouldn't charge sign-up fees. They make their money via commission rates when you get professional acting work. So their sole focus should be signing someone they believe in and not just anyone who has $300 to spend. Next up, avoid high commission rates. Standard commission rates vary in every country, so we recommend checking in with your local actors union and get a lay of the land. Find out what the acceptable commission rate is and stay away from agencies who are charging more than that. In the short term, you might be tempted to accept any offer that comes your way, but in the long run, you'll regret signing with an agent that is taking an unusually high commission. Unless you're passionate about doing extras work and modeling work, avoid any agencies that claim to be a one-stop shop for actors, extras, presenters, and models. If you're serious about being an actor and developing a career as an actor, working as an extra, being a model or a presenter might bring in some cash, but it won't really advance your career. As a general rule, an agency that accepts models, extras, and presenters is not going to be the best agent for a professional actor. You want to be on the same page as your agent. You want them to be working alongside you to develop a sustainable acting career, not just throwing you in the ring for any kind of work in front of a camera to make some money. I would also watch out for agents that represent a huge amount of actors with only, say, 3 staff members. In the case of big agencies like WME or CAA, they have hundreds of actors, but they also have hundreds of agents looking after, say, 30 to 50 actors each, sometimes less, which ensures that each actor has an agent that knows them, checks in regularly, and is looking out for them at all times. I've come across agencies who represent hundreds and hundreds of actors and only have a staff of maybe 2 or 3 agents. This is absolutely crazy, and you will definitely become lost in that sea of actors at one of those agencies.
Wilson, where are you? Wilson!
If you're part of an acting union in your country, you can usually reach out and check in to see if an agent has any black marks against their name. Sometimes unions will also have a list of agents that they endorse or think of as reputable. But just to be on the safe side, always cross-reference. For example, here in Australia, our union has a list of agents here in New South Wales or in Victoria, and there are some agents listed on that list that I would avoid and I think are problematic. I've told the union about those agents, and I'm working with them hopefully to get some of those names removed. But as you can see, even on a very reputable list like that, you have to be careful. Finally, in our private community, Stage Milk Drama Club, we have put together lists of great agents in every city. So if you are serious about finding a great agent, check out that community. We spend a lot of time putting those together, and that's a great place to start. Link is in the description below. So there you have it, a few strategies to find a legit acting agent and a few things to avoid in your search. The key is really understanding the industry that you're in. You should be talking with other actors in the industry and learning as much as you can to make sure you don't sign with someone that might not have your best interests at heart. Agents shouldn't be charging a sign-up fee, they shouldn't be taking massive commission fees, and they should always be paying you within a reasonable amount of time. Once you have a list of some great, reputable agents, you then have the difficult task of trying to sign with one of them. Make sure your headshot, reel, and CV are all rock solid. Work on getting some decent credits behind you and keeping your skills sharp with some training. If you are keen to sign with an acting agent, I definitely recommend checking out stagemilk.com. We've got some great articles on this very topic. We also have some other great videos around agents and signing with agents here on YouTube, so go and check those out. And if you are checking them out, you may as well hit the subscribe button. And also, if you like this video, hit the like button. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm, and we really, really appreciate it. So until next time, thank you and goodbye.